Okay, so
I'll just start recording. Did you guys get a message when I start recording that Zoom says this meeting is being recorded?
No.
That's really strange because
so you do on certain settings. I think you need to look at the GoDaddy settings that you have, because they seem to be very, very different setup, which is fine for corporate, but just so that people can change things on this level. Can I just say hello to my colleague from EMEA? He's a fellow advisory board member, Deepak, who's just joined, and he and I work on AI together. So he is a man to definitely have involved today.
Oh,
hello.
So glad. Hi, Deepak. What's the time first? Let me ask you, what's the time where you are now?
It's 6 p.m. British Standard Time.
He's based in London.
Okay.
He's in London, yeah. Well, I'm here to support Abha. So here to support.
Well, listen, she just identified you as the person to ask very tough questions. So I'm going to prepare my questions, please. So don't worry.
He's wonderful, and we're doing a whole lot of AI stuff, which we hope that GoDaddy will want to come and be involved with us with, and just helping people understand what is AI and machine learning. And we're both, I'll introduce him when we do the introductions as well.
Please do. Well, it's still not 7 o'clock, so people are still coming. Hi, Olga.
Hi, another one of my team, Olga. Hi. Hey, so far I've got a lot of my team coming. This is good.
Hey, listen, I think this is the second 3 women, out of which 2 women have wet hair. Let me just, actually 4 women. Let me just go and do a little bit of brush.
Can I show how wet it is? I have the hairdryer still. I didn't actually get time to use.
I don't know about that.
So I got as far as actually plugging it in. That's about it. And then a microphone was more important.
That's cool. That's cool. Rade, do you have wet hair, perhaps?
Sorry, do I have what?
Do you have wet hair?
No.
It's like I told you, to relax and formal.
No, you're good. You're good. Safe and sound. That's good. So it's only me.
Are we showing off hair on the head? I've got very few. Just saying. I hope it's not a head hair contest. I'm losing it.
No, trust me. A bad hair today, I think it's going to work for all of us, because none of us has actually brushed or dried hair. So good for you. Maybe you can win the dry hair contest.
I think Nestor's doing quite well at winning the competition, actually, at the moment.
Yes.
He's got quite perfect hair at the moment. So.
Yes. So we should ask him to turn his video off. He's winning.
Bye.
Exactly. This is crazy becoming. I'm so happy. Okay.
You know, this kind of problem is the typical pandemic problems, you know, because we are all at home, so we don't normally dress up too much for colds or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think that
I don't know you guys, but you can find me sometimes with a t-shirt or something like that, but just shorts or something like that, very comfortable to be in a cold.
I mean, it's summer, come on, it's the time to have fun and to, I mean, it's very hard to sit in something that is heavy at the moment, at least in Belgrade. It's now 40 centigrades in Belgrade. So I think the stone is melting at this. I know in Ireland, they say, I can hear the stone bursting or something like this. That's the saying in Ireland, but I forgot it. Hi, Anne. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
That's great. Hi, Larissa. How are you? Hey.
Hi,
nice to see you.
She's fine as usual.
So Deepak, Larissa and Olga are part of my marketing team at WordPress, so just to give some faces. And Mary is based in Nigeria, and she is, there's nothing that she doesn't do, in fact. And she's also very good at connecting people in tech and open source. So somebody that we definitely want to learn from. And Larissa is based in Ecuador, and she does search and various other things, but she's also part of the WordPress marketing team. Olga's based in St. Petersburg, and
Sure.
and does web advertising, marketing, phishing, and lots of other fun things too. Deepak is from the We and AI group, which we're both advisory board members, and he also builds AI for a living. So we really told him how lovely everybody is tonight, so that he, hopefully, and he's going to be building his first website on WordPress soon as well. So
Nice. Very nice. Very smart, Abha. I like it. I didn't know I was going to do that, but maybe I will.
well, it's on your Slack messages asking,
Yes.
which WordPress one, what to do next, and so and Nestor, I've forgotten, Nestor, where you're based.
I'm based in Spain, in the Mediterranean coast in Valencia. Yeah, now it's melting outside, 40 degrees. So I'm barely living next to the air conditioner the whole day.
So Nestor is the man to know about security and the web. He knows all that stuff, does stuff for GoDaddy as well. And he's also one of the panelists tonight too. Maya's based in Croatia with some amazing views of just amazing. Just you want to be there all the time.
Actually, I'm in Serbia today. I just drove 600 kilometers. Yes,
yeah, I got that wrong today. So she moves just so I've just got it in my head where the place is. And another one of the marketing team is Christopher, who's just joined in the, and he's based in Ireland, and is also a developer. I was introducing you to Deepak, who's come from the We and AI team to tonight. So and Hawa, who's based in London, I think still hasn't moved.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Sorry, I'm quickly having dinner.
That's all
I will
right.
come on.
And she does a lot with the WordPress training team, which I'm hoping that we can do some stuff with as well, Deepak, as well. So, and does some things for marketing as well. So.
And Una, hi Una, how are you? Oh, Una might be busy with something else. Hi Tiana, nice to meet you. Nice to see you again, actually.
Hi.
How are you?
You see me, yeah, right.
Well, we cannot see you properly. I mean, we can just read you, but if that is good, I mean,
my more beautiful edition, so I beautified myself today. So.
Just a question for you. Do you also have wet hair?
No, I don't have a wet hair, but I have a greasy one, so it's better.
Right.
It's better to be behind anything else actually than me. So.
We will leave you up to your choice. I mean, what's the time? It's 7:05. Maybe we can wait for just a couple of seconds more and see if Una's back. If Una would like to introduce herself to us.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Una. How are you?
Hi, guys. Apologies. I just ran into my apartment, so I was a bit surprised. So apologies from my side. I'm very well, thank you.
Where are you based first?
I'm in Belgrade.
Okay, and what do? Are you a designer, a developer?
No, actually, I'm working as someone covering operations in a company that covers both digital marketing and, let's say, hardcore development, software development. So I was drawn to this subject. The topic of this was very interesting for me.
Oh, well, you're going to hear so many interesting things, actually.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, because I feel some on my skin, you know.
No problem at all. You will enjoy, because I'm sure that our two speakers have a vision. And besides their own vision, we also have some vision of our own, how the future is going to look like. I think if anyone has asked us like a year ago, how the future would look like in 5 years, I think most of us would have their own way. But now, after COVID happening and such big changes and everything going to digital and moving left and right, so that's kind of like that's kind of hectic. Hi Ali, nice to see you. Hi Nigel, welcome. Hey Mary, do you know Nigel?
You said? What did you say?
Hello? I said, do you know Nigel? Sorry, I just, my internet is a bit unstable, a little bit.
Oh, yes. I'm trying to remember which country.
Nigel, can you introduce yourself to us so we can we can help Mary?
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Which Nigel, tell us from which country you come.
Okay. This is Nigel from Zimbabwe.
Aha, yeah. I was just trying to wrap my brain like which country?
Yeah.
Very good. So Nigel, how's your day? Everything's fine?
Yeah, everything's good here. How is everyone everywhere?
Fine.
Very good. Very good. Welcome, Ali. I hope Lebanon is safe and that everything is fine there now. Tell us something. I hope you guys are safe.
Hello, all. How are you?
Salam alaikum. How are you?
Salam alaikum. Yeah, yeah, we are safe. Thankfully, after the collapse last week, and today the government resigned. So yeah, hopefully nothing happened.
Well, what I've heard when I've been in Lebanon, you guys don't need a government there. You can handle the stuff
Yeah,
just
yeah,
regularly.
true, actually. Yeah, actually true.
Thank you for coming today, and I believe it's time to start. So today, the topic is the fastest growing job positions in tech. We've been doing some research and some investigation, and to start this meetup, I'll just show you actually something that I found online. And this is the number of applications that has been shared on LinkedIn. It's the number of applications for current job positions. So this is the fastest growing remote jobs by application volume. So let's say for a customer support representative, there is 112% of more than required people. Then for marketing specialists, almost 90%. For online specialists, 58%. And then you see a data engineer, only 37% surplus, senior software, 29, 27, business analyst, data analyst, information technology recruiter, graphic designer is in need, what I can see. Java software engineer is in need. Full stack engineer in very much need. So today what we're going to talk about, so the photo that I've just shown represents the current offer in the market. But what we will be discussing today with our guests is how this market is going to look like in future. Meaning, are those figures and those type of applications and those professions will continue in the same volume, or we're gonna see a totally different dramatic shift into a different sector. So today we have Abha. I believe most of you already know Abha, being like one of the marketing leaders, one of the assistants in core, one of the developers, one of the owners actually of small business, so a very diverse culturally and professional person. And we have Nestor. Nestor works in Sucuri as a security specialist and probably one of the best people to speak about security, the future of security and positions in security. So I'll just ask Abba and Nestor, so maybe they can start this discussion, is like, if I was to ask you a year ago, and if I were to ask you now, would your answer what the future of this job is going to look like would be different, or it would be the same?
I think it would be slightly different, but only slightly, because we've just accelerated change rather than transforming everything. And a lot of the work we're now doing about building future jobs is actually still back on plan. It's just a different speed. Nestor's nodding, so I'll let him carry on that answer.
I mean, yeah, I totally agree with your answer. At the end, it's something. The things in the globe is going as it was planned. I think these new appointments are just indicating the interest of the people in getting new skills and so on. But I think what I think is changing more in this new scenario is about soft skills, because you know, before we were living in a mixed scenario. You know, some companies just allow remote positions and some others not. So yeah, the skills, the technical skills are very important, and they're gonna be growing through the time. But now that this pandemic times, probably a lot of companies have been obligated to be in the remote way. So soft skills now getting much important than before, because it's not the same as working with your partner next to you in the office and working in a chat system or video conference and so on. So you have to be more you have to have more punctuality. You have to be more resiliency. Have a lot of more resiliency. You have to train your will and so on. So my consideration about from 1 year ago to now will be that the soft skills are now getting much more importance.
And I would just add to that actually it's not, it's soft skills in one definition, but it's also it's about good management and understanding your teams as well. Because if you want to grow and you want to take people with you, with the amount of change and the acceleration of that, you need to have that, and you need to know quite quickly who's able to grow in those tech skills and who doesn't, and who might need to go in a different direction so that their skills are still useful, but may not be able to cope with accelerated change.
All right. So this is just for an introduction. Before we engage you with questions and your visions and views, we have created a Kahoot. It's a poll. It's not a game. So it's just, we would like to test what all of us we think about this topic. So I will just start this screen. What I would expect from you is to actually help us out to understand what you think about the current situation, and if you think that, for instance, people would be, we would like to know your opinion in that sense. So I would really appreciate if you can use your phone, or if you can use a different browser, and just type in the Kahoot IT with this pin code. So we can actually, because I've been doing, I can share also later with you, I've been doing some polls on LinkedIn and some polls on Manny on Twitter. Manny also tried to help us out to understand, and people are divided. You'll see that there is 50-50 or 60-40 thinking that skills will not change, in sense of that in the next 5 years, everything's going to be as it is, maybe with a slight changes. And then you have 50% of people saying, no, everything's going to change. So the thing is, we would like to understand what you think about that. All right, Nigel, Mo, Larissa, and Farad. Let's go, guys. Rade, who else is missing? Now I need to say, oh, Meher, here it is. Olga.
Naya, I'm on the link that you sent me earlier. Do I need to join?
No, you need to join from here. You need to join from here, because that was a demo.
Okay. And we need to put the volume down, don't we, on it? So.
All right, Deepak. We're still missing tons of people. So who else is missing? So I have to call names. Christopher. I don't know how.
They are very shy.
Yeah, he always does that. I don't know how to pronounce Huawa. No, Excuse me, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Please tell me, how do I do that? Lisa?
Yeah, that's me. It's Hawa. I'm trying to log on.
Ah, okay, okay. Tiana, would you like to join our poll? Oh,
Hey.
Robert, Lisa.
Hey, Maya. Yeah, I'm struggling with my iPad. I'm just on another meeting, but I'm
Sure,
going to watch,
sure.
if that's okay. All right,
Sure,
sweetie.
no issue at all. Robert, would you like to join? Mary Job, Mohammed. We need to say hello to Mohammed because she joined a bit later, so we didn't have a chance.
How are you? This is Mohammed.
Hi,
I'm
Mohammed.
Mo. They call me Mo.
Mo, salam alaikum. Welcome. Where are you from?
I'm from Lebanon.
Oh,
I was invited by my colleague Ali. If you, I think you know him from.
Yes, of course. Of course, I know. Kifak.
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He told me you've been to Lebanon before. Multiple times.
Yes, I've been to Lebanon so many times and lived for 10 years in the Middle East, so I know everything about Lebanese, trust me.
And where are you now?
I'm currently in Serbia, in Belgrade. Just arrived this half an hour ago. So, okay, we have 13 players, so let's move on. So the thing is, if you haven't played Kahoot before, is that you read the question from this screen that we are all looking at, but then you answer from a different device, either from your own device in sense of a iPad or iPhone or something like that, or from a different browsing window. So if that is fine, I think we could move on. All right, so let's start. So this is our Meetup poll. It's not important what you answer. There are no true answers. There is only your gut, what you think will be happening. And the first question is, I like what I do because I love my job. I don't love my job, but it's the only thing that I'm good at. It pays good money, or it inspires me. It's very important for us to understand, and we will not share this with anyone else, but it's good to understand who are the people actually sitting here with us today and how do they feel about the industry that we are all working. Some people like it, some people not, of course. Some people, it pays only money to them, but some are just, you know, even moving the borders. So it inspires me and I love my job. Okay, 46-54. I didn't expect this, to be honest with you. Abba, do you have
come
a
on,
problem?
guys. No one work for money?
It seems so. I don't know what is this. I'm totally shocked.
That's very consistent with the new jobs coming up in tech.
I mean, they pay money for doing a job? When did that happen? Sorry, I missed the boat.
We don't care. We don't care about that.
Listen, I'm not going to show this to my HR because probably they'll start cutting off our salaries because we just love it. We don't need money for it. But
you know, money is a proper respect for you, from your customers, for your boss. If you don't have money, it's some kind of misleading.
Totally agree.
You don't think this respect you should feel.
Yeah, and also there is a moment in the life when you are growing. If you do that, is that you don't care about the money and you care more about how you feel in the position you are in that moment, and also about the goodies or perks you're receiving from the company as well, because you are not. You prefer something like, okay, so I prefer that my company just respect me. The time I want to spend with my family, or they bring me the technology I need, for example, for working and so on. So sometimes the money is not the only point. But of course, if you are working as a freelance, that's as you said, is a measure of respect. As you said, there are some studies that say that if you do your job properly and you ask for a good money, you will find yourself working for good quality of customers instead of having battles every day with the customers that are trying to deceive you any penny. So it's a very interesting discussion as well about how much to ask for customer or do how much we can do free in order to retain some customer or to propose ourselves in a marketing campaign or whatever.
It's very interesting. I would lose money on this question, let me tell you that. I would think that minimum 30% of people would say pays good money. And I would bet on this, so I shouldn't go into casino in the next future. That's the goal for me, okay?
There's a lot of AI apps now that have been developed to actually try and find what people's motivation is. And money, yes, is one of those things and quite important. But there's also quite a lot else now that they look for in recruitment. So it's also to be aware if you are using one of the tools that is powered by AI to make sure you look at how is it operating. And we in AI encourage people to actually have a better understanding of the tools that are being used and who's running them and their algorithms. So but on the other side of this is that tech innovation and any innovation, you need to love what you do. You need to be inspired by something. You need to want to create a solution. And that is so important. So if you are looking for jobs in tech in the future and being part of something that's exciting and innovative, these are two good things to be crossing off your checklist. Are you going to love it? Not all the time, but are you going to love it a lot of the time? And is it something that will inspire you, make you want to get up in the morning, but also make you want to deal with the difficult bits and jobs?
I mean, it's also that, if you love something, if it inspires you, you typically will make good money. And if you go it purely for the money, you may hate it eventually and not love it, not be inspired by it. And the cost of doing the job is much higher. To a limited extent, I suppose. I mean, if you're great at pottery, if you love it, if it inspires you, I don't think you'll make a lot of money. But if you're really, really niche, like Cirque du Soleil, and if you're like into a niche pottery making business, you should make good money. Yeah, I mean, I voted for inspires me. If nobody asked, I'm telling you.
Well, I know that it's 50-50%. It's either you love your job or it inspires you. There is no other answer.
And it's also because, because I'm good at it, because I love it, because it inspires me, the other things are taken care of. If I'd hate my job and if I didn't like it, I don't think I'd make ever good money. I mean, I can't wait to wait to get up and do what I do.
I have a question for all of you before we move to Robert's question. Is like, there is tons of people at the moment who are perhaps nurses or maybe psychologists or doing something else. And now in the time of digital, they understand that they need to move to digital. So is it like the best option for everyone to move to learn coding and stuff in order to survive in the next 20 years? Or there will still be some niche, let's say, careers or professions where people will be doing something else other than coding? I mean, do we give an advice to any child in the school, like learn coding and then see what it is? So what's going to be with you? Is that what we're going to do in the next 20 years?
We have a group in WeNAI looking at health and social care, because there will still be other jobs. They'll just be done slightly differently. That doesn't mean that we're not going to be having nurses who care for people. They just might use tools along the way that will be different to the tools that they were using a few years ago. And understanding those tools is really important, because if you don't understand what they do, you don't know what the results are based on, and you can't make a decent evaluation of what it's telling you. You also can't decide whether it's biased or not. So data management, analysis, evaluation skills, and coding in different forms are going to be very important, and they're going to be part of accompanying lots of other professional skills too.
True.
The need of the hour, right? That's just the need of the hour, right? Because back in the day when the Depression happened and the world wars were going on, you needed soldiers. You also needed manufacturers. That is a skill in demand. Now the phases of technology, that will be in demand. I suppose we'll do AI so well that we'll hack into biological beings. Biology, science will be in demand. After that, we'll all be useless because we're sitting at home doing nothing because AI is there and we're all hacked and we have Bluetooth connectivity in our brains. So yeah, it is a function of the time you live in.
And I think what Robert has said is really important. It's as important before tech, as advanced as it is now, and it will be important in another 5, 10, 20 years' time. Ask for the mission. Does it align with your own goals in life? And it's a really important question. And Nestor, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I tend to normally be the bad cop. So, well, when we are talking about technology, it's important to understand that it's not for all. It's something like, for example, as you mentioned, about nurses, about psychologists, and so on. They will be needed in the future, of course. It's true that, for example, getting about development into the basic education will be pretty nice in order to make our new child more conscious about how digital world works. But what is true is that there should be all of the jobs around. So if we just send a message, something like, hey, work smarter, working what you love, and so on, we will find that a lot of people want to work in the primary services, like, for example, literature or other things that we also need, but they are not the most beloved jobs right now. So technology is also interesting. It's an interesting case because it's like, for example, being a psychologist or something like that. Hey, do you want to understand your mind? Be a psychologist. No, it's not true. In psychology, you don't really study the mind. You just really study a lot of cases, practical cases, and then inferring from that, you will get some information about how to treat other people with the same illness or mental illness. In technology, is the same. So if you don't like math, for example, it's difficult that you will get a data analysis job or so on. I don't say this is impossible, but they say that it needs some basic skills and they need some specific minds in a specific way order in order to be success in this kind of jobs. Anyway, say that I don't mean that nobody can, or if you don't have this kind of basic skills, you can't go for this kind of jobs. But it's important to mention that this technology is not for all. And even if you find a buzzword like artificial intelligence, data analysis, and big data, machine learning, or whatever, it's not that easy to reach that point that you find yourself working happy in what you are doing, right? Because before that, you have to learn a lot of things, you have to suffer a lot, and so on. And I don't agree at all with without the sentence saying, hey, if you love what you are doing, you're not going to work anymore. It's not true, because there are some days and other days. So some days you love what you're doing and some other days you are not loving what you're doing. So at the end, it's true that if you work in something you inspires or you love, it's gonna be easier for you, and you will just grow easier, and you will find your life more balanced.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Robert, you've mentioned a mission, and mission is always part of the vision, right? So can you elaborate that a little bit more?
It's hard right now, sorry. I'm not at home, so I cannot help you. I'm just lurking.
All right, no issue at all. And Christopher said something really amazing, which says, I mean, if you love your job, you will not work a day. I mean, That's all fine, and I totally agree with this. And I think that there is, behind any job, there is a philosophy. But I mean, there is going to be so less and less jobs. For instance, automatization of cars where you will not be driving anymore. So drivers will not be needed, right? So some basic jobs will just stop disappearing. And now Christopher is saying the question boils down to nature versus nurture. Wow. Can you help us, Christopher, with this? What you actually meant to say?
Yes. So you asked a question regarding can anybody be suited to technology? Well, the question boils down to nurture versus nature. If anyone can be suited to technology, then that is because you can nurture that skill or want or need in someone versus are people innately better or not at certain things? Is it nurture versus nature? Are you born with particular skills or are they taught to you along the way? If they're taught to you along the way and we believe nurture and not nature, then anyone could be suited to anything. To counter your point then, Maya, around, I think the paradigm of work will shift, not simply what is work and what isn't is what will shift. Through automation, we will have, so you said, we won't have drivers anymore. Well, that doesn't mean no one will drive. People will still drive because they enjoy driving, which is, so the nature of what is work will shift, or the expression of creativity, I suppose you could put it, if you think work is something that you're creative with on a day-to-day basis, which I believe is where that saying around do something you love and you'll know working a day in your life. Doesn't mean you won't hit your hand with a thumb. You won't hit your thumb with a hammer, does it? You'll suffer pain. It means you'll enjoy what you're doing 90% of the time rather than 10% of the time if you're just stacking shelves or something. Sorry.
Interesting. Do you think this is a question for all of you. Do you guys think that learning to code will become like learning alphabet? Are we going in that direction? I don't hear anyone, so do you guys?
I think it broke up, Maya, so people may not have heard.
Sorry. The thing is, so learning coding, is it becoming like equal to learning alphabet? Are we there? Is that where we're heading? Like 1 hour of learning letters and then second hour in the school, in the primary school, you learn how to code. Is this the future behind?
I think it's about learning techniques. So a lot of places we last year the WordPress community joined Digital Citizenship Campaign, and a lot of that was about how we empower people, and so it's actually about learning how things go together to make something, rather than actually learning this bit of HTML or this bit here. It's about how you do something. So Lego is always the favorite thing that that is used for building blocks. And in fact, in the Q&As we're doing for WordPress 5.5, we're actually talking about block patterns in terms of Lego, which is amazing. It's about helping people connect right at a basic level as well. So a lot of schools now teach coding at the same time that they teach a foreign language. So they don't teach it at the time where you first start to learn your alphabet, because just like with unless you're a native, it can be confusing to learn something simultaneously like that. So and a lot of schools now on the curriculum, it's from 7 onwards, it's part of the process. So, but also equally, I've done lots of training for people who are unemployed and who are in their late 50s, even early 60s, who have not had the exposure to code or programming necessarily, and to help them retrain. So it's never too late to code is kind of and it's never too early either. And coding is such a big area, as Nesto I'm sure will agree, that it's huge. So, but if you can understand how things go together and how to create solutions, this is the skill that will see you through in the next 5 to 10 years. It already is for people who are out there doing the innovative jobs now. One of my favorite things, not as a good thing, but just a reminder of how important tech skills are, is when I get told by directors and CEOs, oh, my senior staff don't need to know anything about tech or about coding. To the geeks like yourself in the organization, we don't need to know anything about that. That time has gone, and it's about time too, because everybody is going to either be commissioning or dealing with or living through and needing a knowledge of tech and needing knowledge of something about how things go together. And if you don't really know what's being done to you or in your name or in the name of your organization or in the name of your learning.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's you asked Maya if that is if DevOps is that easy as learning an alphabet and so on. I just would like to mention a case some years ago. I think 3 or 4 years ago, I was in a mentorship program with in a challenge for getting girls from the institute and making something like a contest, STAEM contest, international one, and they chose me as a mentor about the development, right? And I started to teach them, and then I realized that they learn very easily how the syntaxis works and so on, but they needed to understand how the process is. So I just explained to them, okay, so you know how to write egg, for example. Yeah? It's just E, G, and G. But how do you know how to boil an egg? Yeah, we know how to do that. So try to explain that. And then they have to make a paper with the bullet points. So let's take first the oil, then let's take the pan, then turn on the fire, and so on. So all the steps, and then they started to understand how the development works. So what I mean with this is that the development and the technology work. Any job with technology works as a procedimental way, right? So it's not a matter of just learning how to pronounce, how to join things in different programming languages. It's just a matter of understanding the process, as Alha said. So that was my experience, and also the last year I was working in a bootcamp here in Spain. Yeah, we taught people of 40s and 50s, yeah, and they were able to pivot their lives from totally different fields to be a front-end developer, which is normally, generally agreed as the entry point for development. And they could do that. It was just a matter of being motivated enough. They could do that also having child and having no idea about coding before.
Thank you, Nestor. We really appreciate your view. But yes, we also say.
When we did digital citizenship last year, we spoke to many universities and spoke to students about who were in related fields to tech and digital marketing fields and at advertising, also who had some programming experience. And I was quite surprised how little had ever looked behind the hood of a website, had ever known what a code is. And we were really keen to express to them that, if you don't know what this is now, you really need to understand how things are put together. And as Nestor said, if you don't, what are you going to be doing when you're commissioning these things for when you're employed? And I sit on a lot of recruitment panels, and it is very dismissive to be able to say, oh, that's for somebody else to do. if you can't think in terms of how something needs to be put together or find a solution, that is where the jobs are going. I know we're going to talk about that more later, so I won't give that away. But that kind of analytical skills are just crucial. It's not just a case of repeating things as parrots, because a lot of automation can do that. And even parrots think.
Yeah, we normally say that it's, if something repeats in the time, is something that you can automate. So as you said, I totally agree with that. So technology is a matter of solving problems. So that's what we do. And the tools are development, data analysis, or all of them.
And
Cool.
isn't that one to be in that career?
Cool. If we don't have any other questions, shall we move to the other questions? Because if we're going to spend like a half an hour per each question, we're going to spend the night here. So get ready, forget your dinner, and maybe breakfast we will reach. So if you guys would be kind to open either your phones and refresh the page so you can continue with, I don't want to press next because you guys are ready to. If somebody has a trouble to log in, just let me know. Or if you guys are ready, we can just move on. Since I don't hear any crying, that means that's all okay. So I'm moving to next.
It's asking me for the game ping again.
Does it ask for everyone? I don't know.
I've been banned.
Okay, why don't we do like this? Let's open I'll restart the game, okay? I'll restart the game and then everybody can move. I don't know what happened. There was okay, so I'll just restart everything from the beginning. Yeah, it's strange. Thank you, Meher. Muhammad already reported the same thing. So yeah, let's try again. Let's try to log in again if that's not a bugger for you at the moment. There was a problem with the server for some reason and it just disconnected everyone. Or maybe we just talked too much and the game just wanted to do it on its own. I don't know.
I will get that as a critic.
Yeah. Are we gonna log in? I don't have players at all, or maybe my internet is crap. Oh.
We need to change. There is a new pin, right, for this game?
Yeah, the new pin, 300 273. Yeah, it's very live in Beirut. I can hear that. Okay. 11 people. Hey, you other people, are you joining or not? So Robert is not joining, so that's fine. I know that for sure. Predrag, why don't you join, please? Meher, Mohammed, Lisa said she wouldn't, so I believe that's it.
Meher is here.
Yeah, I believe this is it. Let me just see, 12 players, that's it. Start. Okay, now that you know the answer to the first question, I now want a serious answer from your side because you know what's happening now. I mean, I don't want to lose my money, okay? So seriously. I like what I do because. This chat is getting wild. I had to restart my machine, but he has been playing how? Yeah, I'm sure. We're all dying in Belgrade at the moment. I just arrived, so I didn't even have time to cool the apartment. This looks like an oven, and I'm gonna start like getting crispy skin very soon. So let's see now if everyone answered. They did. Oh ho ho!
Do you know my game told me I hear you. I agree.
Seriously?
Yeah, so it's learning. It's got automation behind it and probably a bit of AI.
Oh my God, well, we'll see. Okay, so we have 33% now love my job, 17 pays good money, and 50% inspires me. So basically what I can conclude from discussion and from this slide is that technology inspires people. I think that's a broad one, and let's move to the second question to finally have it. At my current company, I'm satisfied with my opportunities for professional growth. So basically, it's strongly agree, disagree, and strongly disagree. Part of the personal development and professional development surely lies in companies' responsibility to push you in this field, to actually give you some maybe stronger or more challenging assignments where you need to upgrade your skills, upgrade your knowledge. So basically our question is, does the company push you into this professional growth? Let's see. Strongly agree, nice, agree. And then there's one disagree. I mean, that's a good statistics, actually. If this is really what you guys think, then this is really like, I like it. How about you, Ava?
I think I'm more intrigued to know about the kind of person who disagree. So I think there is a case to be made in every organization for professional development. I am the professional development lead for two institutes, one for communications, one for management. And it really is important of an organization to also value professional growth, and for the employees to value getting that support, and to really take it seriously, because there is a cost to it. And as technology changes and jobs change, if you don't engage in the support that is available, some firms are not as ethical about how they might deal with that, but also it's a lost opportunity. So if your company doesn't currently support your professional development, maybe have a look at what it is that you think would help you, what skills would help you do your job even more effectively than you do it now, and also what is necessary for improving, for more automation, for more technological solutions in your job. And if you can make the case for why this would be a good solution, you could also make the case for why you might need some budget, some professional growth support, some professional development support. And it's really important to try and get that, work with others as well, look at what courses are available and pitch that to your organization and show them what's different. Talking to some of the people who are on this call today, we've also been looking at how you can use Five for the Future from WordPress and see how your company could contribute to that, and therefore how that could be an opportunity for professional growth as well. And it's good PR as well for your organization. Back to you, Maya.
Sure, I totally agree. And our company is part of the Five for the Future initiative. We have, like, I think already around 50 people who have been listed to contribute minimum 2 hours a week, in addition to 2 full-time paid contributors who actually are there to help out the community. And this is the way how our company goes along with it. I mean, I agree with Christopher, who said this is not a representative. I mean, this is not enough. 11 people to decide, or 12, surely it's not enough. But I mean, we are all coming from different countries, right? So we have different visions, we have different access to information, but still somehow I believe this is maybe a representative sample. Well, if you would split it on millions of people, I'm sure something like this might come as a result. I just hope, actually, because I don't know how other companies are treating people in tech, but what I hear, most of them are competing to do good. And as Olga said, I was just leaving company when I was started to feel that I'm going nowhere several times. Yeah, I think that's a very valid reason nowadays to leave a company. I mean, actually, our next question, and Olga, then I will ask you your view and chat. We will all be doing more on these surveys in future. The survey is all about encouraging, supporting people who we are. Exactly. So the next question is actually talking about benefits. I mean, why people stay in certain companies and why some people go. So if you guys are ready, and if you can refresh the page and go to the browser. If anyone has a problem, can you let me know? I think it's working now. So let's move to this, finally to the third question, right? So how do you feel about your company's benefits, health insurance, time off policy, or whatever benefits that your company give? Are you satisfied or you're not satisfied?
And I think for
Anyway,
the people who are independent freelancers, who might get some of these benefits from their contracts, I'll answer it in that way.
Sure. Very good. Thank you, Ava. I think that's a very good comment that you've mentioned.
Or
So what do we have?
If you're the director and you are not satisfied, then have a word with yourself.
So let's see what we have. I think we should introduce pre-betting to this betting, okay? Like put a number or a percentage of the answer 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we do the game and see who's right. I didn't expect this. So we have very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, and not so satisfied. That's very interesting. I mean, I think before we start discussion on this, we need to answer the next question, because the next question is actually something that relates to this. So let us answer the next question, which is, which employer's benefit is the most important to you? So, and this is where you type your answer. So it would be great if you can just say, I don't know, bucks, or I don't know, maybe more time off, or weekend, no disturb, don't disturb policy, or something like that. So far, we have one answer only. I just hope that, okay, 2 other people are typing. So what is the most important benefit?
Anyway, Maya, just answering my part of the previous question. I just wanted to add that technology is a kind of a slavery. So if you get into technology, you will have to be constantly renew yourself. So the possibility of growing inside of the company should be a must.
Yeah, I think the people I mean, not should, people must deserve credit for whatever they do. Okay, let's see what we have here. My God. My God. Okay, so Olga, since you started this avalanche, tell us, what is there a reason why you is there a reason written on our screen why you left some of the companies that you worked for? Do you say it here?
Like I said, there is no way to up or to higher position or development of my skills or something like this. So I was just forced to do the same job over and over again, and it's not for me. I was seeking a job inside a company, and there was no easy way to move, and it's much easier to find a new place in somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. But what was the main reason why you actually left? Was it insurance? Was it the flexi time? Was it innovative approach, or how they value your work, or what was the reason?
You know, there is a lot of reasons at the same time, pros and cons. So from one point of view, you're very good with your co-workers, and some other benefits you have, like sometimes it was some kind of parties, you know, possibly insurance, something like this. But from another side, you have people who treat you like a furniture. For instance, you are just a tool to do some work, and you need to do it continuously without any opinion from your side.
Sure.
So
Thank you.
it's really depressing.
Sure. Let me hear someone else. So Anne, you, I strongly appreciate your opinion, and I'm very happy that you're together with us tonight. I mean, if you have time, I mean, it would be great if you can give us, what would be the reason for you to leave the company, for instance? Hey, tell us.
So I've actually thought about this because I've run things called stay interviews before with people on my team when I was a team lead. So it's asking people why they stay and what would have to change to make them leave, and you answer the questions as part of the process itself. But for me, it would be some sort of ethical or moral misalignment. So if my value system, if something the company did that was against my value system, that would be a very quick and easy exit. I think when it comes to work-life balance, I kind of put that on me to manage as someone who's been working remotely for a long time and kind of setting my own boundaries. But a lot of what would make me leave would be related to like value crossing, or it would be I'm not super tied to the tech field. I actually come from a psychology background. So if I eventually were just get burned out on technology, I would probably pivot back and completely change careers and go into something more one-to-one based with psychology. So I'm kind of a wild card there.
No, I love what you said. Rade, what do you think would be, I don't know if you guys are seeing now the screen. What would be the reason why, I mean, what's the most important benefit to you when it comes to a company?
Well, I really enjoy that company that I'm currently in. They value the work I do, and they have a lot of benefits, and you know that.
Sure.
And the team is great as well. So I really enjoy so far, and I cannot wait to meet everyone in person.
That's gonna take a while, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm not, you know that, but I started working in a company just before the COVID started. So I went to office 3 times in total, and I was working remote since.
Some people would pay for that, let me tell you.
Meet like handful of people only from my team, so.
All right, so it's the value. So it's actually the value that the company shows.
Yeah.
The way they treat you. Una, what do you think? Is there anything that you would like to add to this discussion? What, I mean, maybe you even voted, because I don't know who votes.
I did vote, but I was very interested when someone said ethical based, like the deal breaker or whatever would be the ethical part of it. So I was thinking about, when you say ethical, are we thinking about how the product the company is making is impacting, the environment? Are we thinking about ethical being producing ethical softwares or ethical products, whatever, or thinking about company being ethical when treating their employees? Because I think those are 2 things. I know a lot of people that are non-smokers that worked in tobacco industry, etc. I know people that will not work under any conditions into like military industry and stuff like that. It's interesting. I think IT industry is curating this one-on-one approach. I think it's trying to fill out as much as possible individually employees. So if someone is placing a lot of value on remote work, I think companies are trying to incorporate that as well as some other values. And I think basically you have companies focusing on 3 or 4 things that they can sustainably, commit to for a longer period of time. I mean, like 3 to 5 years, to be realistic. So for me personally, I think I would need to feel stuck in a position, no opportunities, not feeling motivated to leave the company. But a big plus would be a great team of people. I think I would stay for, even if some other conditions are not meeting my criteria, if my colleagues are basically, I don't know, like I have a good relationship with them.
If they're welcoming and kind people, right? If they're just kind enough.
Exactly. They're just kind. Like if someone who's giving me a feedback, who is giving me criticism, who is, if those are people who see other people, if you have if you do something and someone says like, oh, you did, oh, I like what you did. And also you have someone who said like, I don't think it was a good thing, So I think this is what I'm talking about. When there is a liberty to act this way within a company. maybe I'm a bit naive or idealistic, but you know, I
No, no.
experienced it, so I appreciate it.
I think what you're saying, it can be applied worldwide. So maybe we can talk to first Mary. Mary, what do you think? Do people deserve, I mean, is it one of the preconditions of staying in a company actually kindness to each other, or it's you don't care about kindness, let's get the money and just run? I mean, there is more to work than just money, right?
Yes, absolutely. Kindness has to be part of it. I mean, if you're working in an environment where you can't reach out to your colleague because you are afraid they are going to be unresponsive or probably answer you in a not so kind manner, that work can be interesting. At least that's what I think. It can be interesting working in a place like that. I think that's one of the things that I love about where I work. Right from day one, everybody is down to earth, makes me feel at home. You ask questions, even in the personal chat, they tell you, even if you think the question is stupid, go ahead and ask. You know, nobody's going to laugh at you. You'll be comfortable and you'll be able to learn better in that kind of environment, as opposed to one where you're afraid to speak out or to ask questions or to say something. In fact, when you see something that is not working, you'd be afraid to bring it up because you might get a backlash from whoever. So kindness is important, yes.
And here, when it comes to employers' benefits, which one is the most important to you?
For me, to be work-life balance, somewhere where your boss values the time that you spend at work. You're allowed to explore, or say the working hours are flexible, not rigid. Yeah, for me, it's work-life balance, because if you're not balanced at home, then you can't be balanced at work. You may try, but then
True, I agree 100%. Thank you. Ali, how about you? Ali perhaps is not hearing us at the moment, but I'm sure he'll get back to us.
Actually, to choose can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Tell me.
Yeah, actually, me to choose the work-life balance. I feel actually since I tried to work for a company without, so then when I moved to a work-life balance, it was really different in terms of my energy in the work, you know?
Nice, nice. So Abba, I mean, you and Nestor are leading the story. So what are we talking about? What was the most, what is the most, I mean, you're an employer to yourself. So tell me now, how do you indulge yourself to stay in your own company?
I think, you know, if you can read employer as people who were sole traders, but you could also include the people that you might contract for different works. So for me, one of the things that I find that the people who I do hire and the panels that I sit on, innovation is the really key thing that people really want to know. They want to know, how are they going to be part of making change, and how is it going to be looked on? Because you'll quite often get people who are slightly older or who are a bit more tech focused than soft skills focused, who would genuinely be wanting to work for somebody or with somebody who has a positive approach to innovation, that doesn't have an approach of, right, you can try something as long as you don't fail. If you fail, then you're out. That's not a positive approach, because you have to find many solutions before you find necessarily, so try various solutions before you find the right one. So I would say that was important. But in terms of finding a space and finding time, as Olga has said, it's really important. Whether you are in a small company, you are managing lots of people, or if you know, you have lots of people who rely on you. It's just really important to find something that can show that work-life balance and can show others, because if you're a director or a manager or a leader, and you're not showing that there is a work-life balance that's important, your staff or your contractors won't know it's important either, and will think it's not. It's expected to be always on call, always working, and never to have that balance, which isn't good as an employer.
Agree. Thank you very much. I mean, I think that employers in tech industry are actually the most emotional ones, and they have this emotional intelligence more developed than others, because when I see how people in mines work, or how people in the steel industry work, or perhaps in some other countries, how people are being mistreated, actually, I think that we belong to an industry where there is still care. Well, I mean, at least that's my impression. Nestor, would you like to identify which one was your value?
Mine was remote working, but it's if we go further, we read all this the answers in the screen. You can discern that most of them are related with time, right? It's vacation, sabbatical, flexi time, remote working, and paid leave, work-and-life balance. More or less all of them, or a big part of them, are related with time. For me, I'm working now in GoDaddy, but I started in Sucuri first in 2015. But before that, I was employee. I was employee. So I have been a lot of roles related with this. And when I changed it from being an employer to employee, in that very moment, it was something that I needed to do. But before that, I just said, hey, I never gonna work again for others. I'm gonna work for me, and this is gonna be my life from now. So, but in that moment, I just was running a company, and we got a good project, and we got a good team as well. But something went wrong, so I found myself with a lot of debts, and I had to rethink about my life. And then that's the opportunity when I started to work to Sucuri, and then after the acquisition by GoDaddy, now I'm GoDaddy working here. So for me, the biggest point was the change from working presentially with my team to working with a remote team. That was for me the life. And thanks to that, for example, I spent 3 months last year working from Japan, and I was just traveling. Meantime, I was working. So for me, was
Perfect.
A life change.
Perfect. I agree with you, to be honest with you. I think that remote work is something that really works for me. Insurance, okay. Innovation, sure. I want to learn. And how people are valued. Well, I got used to living in environments and industries where you don't get kindness too much, like in oil industry or car industry. There is no kindness. It's just like you do your job and everything's fine, you know? So yeah, so let's move to another question. I think we're just going to a different. So do you think you will require different skills to the existing ones in 5 years? So this is a poll. I mean, after this, I'm going to share the poll that I have made on Twitter and LinkedIn to see how other people think. So first, I want to see your opinion. So do you think you will require different skills to the existing ones in 5 years? What you guys think? Wow. Yeah, this is great. This is great because I'll just now share something else with you.
Sorry, my screen won't update, so
Sure,
I'll have
sure.
to manually.
Sure, no issue at all. So let's talk about this. What I have, actually, I cannot find it now, so I will just read it to you from my phone. So I had a question on LinkedIn, and this question was, Okay, no, not this one, not this one. Oh, strange, I don't have it. Okay, the one from Twitter that was sent on Manny was, I have 5 votes. And the question was, are we able to foresee which new jobs will be in high demand in the 5 years along with the skills? And 60% of people said that they cannot foresee the new jobs. And 40% of people said that they can see the new jobs. So basically what this graph is also showing us that you guys think we need to change. Now that we talk about change, what do we change? Volunteers?
Yeah, I'm gonna give my opinion on this. This is Muhammad.
Yeah, hi Muhammad, please.
Hi. So our industry is evolves at really high speed. So every day you have a new technology, every day you have a new discovery, let's say, you have a new field that you have to keep on discovering and learning and reading about, especially if you're working, let's say, in the web industry. I come from a technical background. I'm a tech lead now. So I feel like I have to always be in race with the new technologies. I need to read about everything new. I need to educate myself so that I'm always aware of what's happening around me. And once I moved into a job for like, it was a temporary job for 6 months that was not related to tech. I felt that I was like years behind the technology when I got back to working as in a technology position again. So probably that's the one thing that we need to keep in our mind, that it's really rapidly changing and we need to cope with this.
Thank you, Mohammed. I think even though we might not see things, but then life turns you into that, and you have to learn it, you know, from your own experience. So you're of opinion that it will change in the next 5 years. Do you think it's going to be fast, or it's going to take some pace, not like ridiculous one like the one we had during Corona?
No, I think it's going to be faster than it used to be before. Like I remember when I graduated from university, the mobiles were just like the Nokia Symbian mobiles. Then a year later, Android came in. Then after that, Apple was the big thing. So the younger developers were like more into tech, although I was like the first one who who's been following these things, but I couldn't catch up. It really took a lot of effort from me to catch up with the industry. And when I did, new things came into like machine learning, artificial intelligence. so every time like you keep running after these technologies, new technologies come in, and the new people who are entering this sector, they enter directly to the trending technology and to the high-end technology. So it's like easier for them because they don't have to carry the burden of the old technology with them. It's like a heavy a heavy bag that you're holding all the time, and you're just adding stuff all over and all over. And to us, we cannot let go of our legacy programming languages that we know, but at the same time, we want to learn everything in front of us. So it becomes really hard, like to stay on track.
Wow, Nigel, what do you think?
I think the way we do things will change definitely, but all of the underlying concepts will still remain the same, regardless of how we're doing with things. So there's some things where the basics will still be the same. So
okay.
In a way, yeah, the jobs will evolve, but the basic concepts of the jobs will still be the same.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your view. Any other view who would like to share with us? Perhaps Svetab? Because Svetab, you didn't have a chance to answer this question. Would you perhaps like to tell us what you think about this? Svetab. Okay, maybe he'll come back and then we'll recheck with him. Any other opinion on this topic, please? Okay, Nestor, please. Nestor.
Sorry, I didn't want the unmute button. I just wanted to add that as Mohammed said, our field is evolving very, very, very fast. So I don't know, probably most of you remember that times when the computer guy was just a guy who would do everything, backend, front end, applications, pen testing, mounting servers, and so on. So it was a romantic point of view in the past, but at the end there weren't too much specific fields to work in, right? So, but now we are moving very fast to a very specialized world. So every every field we're gonna work in the future, we're gonna need specific new things to learn. So right now we can't just mount a website by ourselves, because we will need a designer, we will need a developer, we will need a CEO expert, we need marketing guys, we need a DevOps to put it to deploy it, we need Amazon and their servers in order to monitor and to give some tools. So at the end, I think all our work gonna start splitting in this, little pieces, and all of them will need a specific knowledge for that.
Well, I can tell you that Olga disagrees, okay? And before I put SweatUp on spot, Olga, say why you disagree with Nestor. This is now becoming interesting.
I'm not actually disagree. I just wonder where's the place for journalists like myself in these new conditions, because you know, this very tiny, very thin qualification isn't for all people.
From my point of view, generalists are needed. So, I mean, for example, specialists just work in a specific piece, right? But you need as a generalist to lead him and the other guys in the team to know what piece they have to work with. So at the end, I think they are both needed, but it's true that the technologies are splitting very fast. But as I am like you, I am a generalist one. So I totally agree with that.
Okay, SweatUp, please tell us. You were not able to answer this question via Kahoot. So what's your opinion?
SweatUp, we don't hear you.
He cannot play game, we cannot hear him. SweatUp, you're totally disconnected. You know, I mean, can you write for us? Can you use the chat? Something is wrong. And he unmuted even. I had a similar problem just recently. Okay, let's see who's writing. And I think my mic is not working, I'm sorry. Okay, no issue at all. SweatUp, while we play the game or different, if you can just log in, because we're gonna continue with the next question. If you can just log in, or not, just write in chat to us, okay? Thanks for attending. How did it go? It just got in a, yeah, it's an automated system, because we should end up at 8, but it's, I mean, the thing is, the problem is that we cannot leave. That's an issue, you know? So let's move to another question, because you will all receive emails, as Rade would say. So are we ready? Can you just move to that screen so I can actually just put this down? Okay, so the 7th question. What skills do you think you will need to learn or use more in future? JavaScript and PHP and any other advanced coding language, project management, people development management, data management, and or analysis, and artificial intelligence and machine learning. I mean, it's very, how to say, it's very hard to answer this question, but at least let us know what you think, what will be moving very fast and perhaps would prevail or become more used in future. So, wow, we have 2 reds.
And these
say.
These questions are part of what we've been working on elsewhere as well, and we actually have these questions up that will be getting much more wider appeal through some of the surveys we've been doing.
So Abba, shall we start? So let's start analyzing. So out of 10 answers, we have 2 for JavaScript, 4 for project management, 2 for data management, and 2 for artificial intelligence and machine learning. Let's start from this.
Can I just check, did everybody only vote for 1, or did you vote for more than 1?
One only.
If you re-voted, is that possible to add their extra votes or not?
No.
Okay. Just as a show of hands, the old-fashioned way. If you were going to vote for more than 1, how many of you would have voted for all of these? Okay, so that's 3, 4. Okay. If anybody else who I can't see, if you just put it in your, okay, all. Okay, so only 1, Mahir. Okay, that's useful.
Mahir and Mohammed also say, I think everyone's gonna vote. I don't think I only vote 2. Rather don't, it's a joke.
Not everybody thought all of them. Okay, so Raid, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce that right, so do tell me if it's not right. Which 2 did you vote for?
The first one, I would like to learn more about, and I think I should learn more about JavaScript, and I would vote for the 4th one, artificial intelligence and machine learning. That is something I really like electronics, and I do think that artificial intelligence and machine learning will be a big deal in the future. And I don't think I should learn the management and stuff like that.
Okay, that's useful. I'm going to come back to that in a minute, if that's all right. Mahir, which one was your single one?
The second one.
The second. I can't see the screen, so if you can, at the moment.
Project management. Project management.
Project management. Okay. And Mohammed voted for data, but it's okay. So that might have been your priority, but would re-vote for all. At the moment, I've just got a grey screen covering Mahir's quiz, so I can't see. But as part of the survey that we do as a firm, I will try and use that version temporarily. In terms of recruiting for tech, and in terms of all the recruiters that meet and talk about these kind of issues, and also what the universities are now focusing on, and the tech development, it's actually all of these feature. It's not just one of them that features. And it was interesting, the person who said that they didn't think management and project management was going to be as important. Actually, with business spend, it's going to be more important, because automation and AI and machine learning means that we can analyze much more effectively the decisions that are made and why they're made, and unfortunately also where things have gone wrong, which might be a positive as well. So actually being able to deliver projects is going to be important, but I probably agree with you in one way, that it's going to be a little bit more about why we need to do it, and being a consultant on things, and analysis, as you've highlighted for your other one too. We had a discussion this morning about JavaScript, PHP, and other advanced coding languages, because there are so many, and they're all going to have different pathways in the future, and not everything is going to be backward compatible. So a lot of the recruitment, a lot of the questions we get asked in a given week is, what skills in programming should we be concentrating on? And obviously, do the hobby stuff that is your favorite and you love, but also look at what's in the market and see which of these skills is actually being used for the new technologies. How is JavaScript being used? There's a JavaScript for conference, which Olga will tell you the correct name, because I've forgotten what it is, because I know she went to it as well. that was about JavaScript and WordPress. Fantastic. Only last month, you can still access things online. And it looked at some of the advancements in JavaScript, but it was presented for people who didn't do JavaScript as well. And to show you just understanding it and what you can now do was amazing. But knowing that and how to use it and not necessarily being a programmer in it was equally as important as being able to code in it. So Anne's put that she voted for data. And yes, I'd agree that data is just so important, but it's how we use it, how we analyze it. And even if you don't necessarily work directly with AI and machine learning, it's going to be very unlikely that most of the firms or projects that we work with don't have a significant element of AI and machine learning already built in. So not necessarily knowing how to code, but knowing what it is, how to spot it, what it's doing, and what questions to ask are going to be quite important.
It's very interesting. Thank you, Anne. I mean, I really appreciate this because it really makes sense. But I wanted to ask you, Abba, you're into AI a lot and about machine learning. And I mean, everybody of us, we know what it is, but nobody knows how it functions. So could you please give us, I mean, what type of skills, what do you need to know in order to actually start contributing to artificial intelligence and machine learning?
You need to understand data as the primary thing you need to understand, but also, even more importantly, it's understanding and being able to spot where AI and machine learning is being used. So I'm going to share, like in a minute in the chat, a survey that we do at We in AI, and that is about helping people spot how many places in their everyday life that machine learning and artificial intelligence is already there. And from that, when you start seeing it, when you can spot it, you will start looking at solutions. So other things that you see, and people who work in tech and who have a capacity for solutions will already think in engineer terms. They will all have an interest in that way. So it could be that you have Deepak, who was on for most of this call. He and I spend a good time of the week working together, and most of the time when we're talking about an automation or a solution, we'll go, actually, we could do that in AI and machine learning, and it would do this, because we know what to spot and how it can do that. But that's the same for everybody. If you understand where it's being used and you understand what the biases are that are being used, which is very important to know, you can start thinking of better solutions. You can think about how it could be used in your organization, how you can have advanced machine learning so that the machine is actually being reviewed in what it does, and how you can play a part in that. But it really is important just to start at the very beginning of looking around you, your house, your everyday life, and see how much of it is actually governed by AI. If you all use Facebook, you are all being used by AI every day. If you all interact with smart equipment in your house, most of that is running on AI. If you use Alexa and you say good morning to Alexa, or she tells you what your favorite music is, that's actually being put together by AI. So it's around us, and start learning it from that position.
What I spotted in this part is that you really love AI, machine learning. But,
I don't love it, but if we don't, as a society, learn what it's about and where it is being used ethically and unethically, then we're not going to be influencing it in a positive way. And we're also, in recruitment, it is now being used, in one statistic I saw this morning, 75% of recruiters, big recruiters, now use it as standard. But if you don't know it's there, and you don't know the algorithms it's using and why, you can't necessarily compete in that market, or even more importantly, change it if it's not ethical.
I totally agree with that, but I will say that there is a very important part also wrapping that is how you are mentioning it when you are talking about ethical, and that's what I normally work in is about security. You know, it's at the end it's a tool. Okay, so artificial intelligence and machine learning is a tool. The way we use that tool gonna help or gonna harm. So at the end, it's artificial intelligence is just between us, and it's gonna stay there. Of course, at the end, it's also how to move our intelligence, our smart, into code, into machines, into process to automate things, and also to take some decisions and to spot some things that are very difficult to spot if we are trying manually, because there is a lot of noise, right? But I would say, hey, okay, so artificial intelligence is excited, but it's very, very difficult to reach the point that the artificial intelligence is usable. And people are not very aware what artificial intelligence is. So the people think that, oh, I put a machine there, and then I'm gonna ask him, hey, why, what are you gonna do my next competitor? And that's not that easy. You have to takes a lot of information first, normalize it, and analyze, and then you get all the
question. Ernesto, I have a question for you. You're the security analyst. Okay. Would you allow a machine to provide a security solution?
A machine providing security solution. First of all, there is not a machine thinking about security, right? It's
no,
Abha,
I'm sure there is a machine that is actually being developed in this sense, right?
It's developing. It's being developed. So there is a human behind it, putting their ethical thinking or their goals and bits in that machine. So at the end, the machine gonna realize paths or realize threats or whatever. In the frame of the developer, and the developer has been done before behind, but it's not going to think itself, right? Not by the moment.
No, Abha will answer this question.
I'm sorry, I disagree. Purely because there are already automated machine learning that does think. It thinks it, but again, there is, as Nestor said, there are humans behind it. So it thinks with AI bias, and it thinks with the bias of the humans behind it. Exactly. And that is what my point isn't that everybody's going to learn how to become an AI specialist, but everybody needs to understand how AI is affecting their environment and how they can influence it. Because if they don't know that, then we're going to have a lot of disenfranchisement. We're going to have a lot of people who are not able to be represented in what this future will be. And there is almost an onus on the people who are able to have an influence, or at least able to understand it, to try and do so. And Maya's question was about, what people need to learn. And the fundamental is about learning where it is operating, how it operates. It isn't about programming it, because I think, as Nestor said, not everybody's going to be at that level. And it takes a lot of different people and different skills to make up the tech world. But understanding it, because I have countless people who commission tech now who do not have a basic understanding of the tech they commission. When they're going to be commissioning AI, and they don't understand who the developer is, what the company is, what its biases are, what the funding is, and then they unleash that on their publics. That's not a good position to be in. If I had a pound or a euro for every company that has approached me since lockdown saying that they wanted to put in an artificial intelligence or a machine learning solution because it's the way forward, I would now not be working and be retired, because a lot of people just think that's the solution. We don't have to do anything else. That's all we have to do. We just have to implement the very first thing. It's not that dissimilar to the idea of people thinking everybody has to have a website right now, yesterday, and not understanding what they were commissioning. So my appeal is, in whatever area of skills you need to learn, all of these things on this page are important. And go for things that you enjoy, and also go for things that you can have a fundamental basic knowledge of, because it will equip you to do your job better, to do it more effectively, to work with other people better, and to be more ethical in how you deliver things.
Interesting. Question for all of you now is, do you guys think that one day somebody will say, okay, AI is ready and everything's great, so maybe we can put it on autopilot? And after that, would you think that people will be challenging the machines in some competitions, or the machines will be challenging people? Anyone?
I can see some things in the chat, and I think Nesta will agree with me that AI still needs people behind it. And if you understand how AI is built, and what the processes are, we talked earlier in this conversation about systems and understanding how things go together. That is the same construct in AI build and machine learning build. And people are still behind AI, and this idea that that people will not be influencing it in some way is probably not very accurate. And I would say that, you know, when people talk about it, you know, being, it's going to be the future, nothing else is going to be there in the future. The question that you should be asking is, who is controlling that? Because it will be people. It might be a small group of people, but it will still be people that will be controlling it. And even if something is put on, as Maya said, autopilot, it's still a person who is doing that. It's still behind the processes. And I think we just have to be a little careful about focusing just on the idea of, you know, us being taken over by robots or anything else, that care about the society you live in and the construct of tech. Then get involved, understand it, actually know who is influencing it and who is behind it, and start asking questions, because it will make a difference.
Yeah, true. Is there anything anyone else wanted to say on this topic, or perhaps their view of what skills need to be improved?
Always needs the right people. I can't see who said that, but yes, they're right. It does. It needs people who are trained, but it also needs citizens who are engaged.
Correct. Well,
from a point of view, I just want to just give the giveaway saying, hey, it's a tool. So it could be used in one way or another way. For example, there's a comment there talking about improving the data quality matters a ton, and when we are talking about the systems and how they learn and so on. Yes, it's that important as if you take the data from a data set, your system gonna learn and gonna take decisions in one way, and if you take from all the data set, you're gonna take decisions and do all the things in the other way. So it's pretty important the information we give to an artificial intelligence system. But as I mentioned before, just wrap all of this, that there is a lot of security that is needed right now to make it useful, and also to make it to make the technology works toward humanity, and not humanity towards technology.
And exactly, I completely 100% agree with Nesta. And to answer Pidrag's question, everyone needs to influence how AI is developed. We've just done a response to UNESCO, and UNESCO are looking at bringing a standard across the world about AI to make sure that people who AI affects have a voice in it. I'd encourage you to look at that and to remember that it's only as good as the tool, and so be part of the solution.
That is awesome. I love the energy. Anyone else would like to add to this? And I mean, you've been very active in the chat. Who decides who the right people are? Yeah, Predrag and I, we have very similar suspicious thinking of actually who is behind, but maybe that's a topic for another meetup, just to speak about artificial intelligence. I mean, we have so many experts that could actually help us out, lead us through this, and perhaps create an additional AI engineer in future. So let me move to the last question that we have for the night. I believe it's last, or maybe it's second to last. So just prepare your fingers. And as what I've seen so far, I've been shocked. So I'm going to shock myself again. So let's go. Next question. So how much time do you spend on development or updating of your skills? Okay, now those who were who voted actually that they need to change, or that we all need to change. Let me see what you guys are doing now. And you cannot cheat, I will know. Okay. 4 answers, 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Okay, we have someone in the chat. Everyone needs to influence how AI is developed. So this is the information that Abba shared with us. All right, so what do we have? None, 0. Congratulations.
I love this answer. I know I ask this question at every talk I do on professional development, and normally I have a huge chunk in the none. And normally I have people who say, why do I need to? But this is really good. And it shows that, you're all going to go really far in your careers and enjoy long, happy careers, because the fact is that you all spend time. You all want to do something. And that's brilliant. I love Olga's comment, I'm in constant education. We're always learning, and we're always learning from each other. And that's a brilliant answer.
I think that actually we are in
I'd send you all cake if I could, but I can't do emojis on chat.
I think we work in an industry where we solve constantly the challenges.
This slide is pretty important about talking about skills in the future and also job position. Go ahead, Maya, if you want, or if you can.
No, the thing is, I said, I think that every one of us constantly on a daily basis solves some type of problems. I just hope that somebody will pay us based on the problems that we solve, because every day there's something new, or a customer has a different, or has a problem with browsers, or maybe it's not our problem, maybe it's the hosting, maybe it's not even the hosting, maybe it's something else. You constantly troubleshoot.
I've loved Pedrag's answer, which is now shooted up while I'm trying to read it. I can't get back to it now. I love to see the not enough answer. Yes, it really, really is not enough. But I would also say, as a trainer, one of the things that I always encourage people who are learning to say is, don't beat yourself up about it. It's never going to be as much as you might like, But the fact that you want it to be more than you currently do is a great sign. It means that actually you have a thirst for knowledge and innovation, and you will be one of these people who will be getting work and will be making a difference in this world. So, you know, but it really is important not to start feeling bad if you can't do as much learning as you would like to, because life gets in the way. I take on, as a company, we take on 6 mentees a year, and this year we've actually taken on 4 from within the WordPress community, rather than spreading them out. And one of the things that I say to all of them is that concentrate on the bits that are really going to give you value, and on the learning that is actually organized, and you are going to get something coherent out of it. But please do not start feeling guilty or make yourself feel ill because you can't do it all. Nobody can do it all. You know, someone sent me a cape this week, a Wonder Woman cape. And I first thing I said to them was, but actually none of us can do it all. We can only do as much as we can, and that is okay. So but I love this. I love all your answers, because that's really cheered me up that 33% of you want to do 6 hours a week and 50% do 4 to 5. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. I love it. Seriously, totally shocked.
So I'm going to celebrate that later.
Yes, I want to ask Sveta. I mean, is he saying goodbye to Ali, or what is the drawing that he made in the chat? I don't understand.
I love the drawing. What does it mean?
I don't know, but it's really cool. I want a cape. Okay, we have some. So let's move to the last question in this case. I mean, now let's shock each other with the last question. And the question is about, do you have an existing knowledge of skills related to artificial intelligence or machine learning?
And that can include just that you could commission it, or you would understand it enough to be able to work with others who can code.
Yeah, I'm looking for some great. I was trying to draw emoji. Ah, bravo, Sveta. I really like your emoji. So 8 seconds more, 5 answers, 6 answers. Let's see, are we up to date with the future trends? Yes, and would love to have some. This is also awesome. I love this.
Brilliant. I am so happy. And again, we asked this, and unfortunately my other screen is frozen, so I can't share the link with you, but I'm sure Maya can send it on to you all. It's something that we ask quite a lot in just helping people raise awareness about what is out there, but also we'd be surprised that when we do, there's a lot of tech skills focus, tech skills for women, tech skills for schools, etc. And quite often getting interest in other tech skills has come from the people having an interest in machine learning. So that's good to see as well. I've met about 12 developers this year who've gone into development in much more detail because they first came to it by seeing something that Alexa had done from Amazon, and they wanted to know how to create something. They didn't want to be an AI developer, but they wanted to be a developer. And I think if you can be inspired by your local environment, I know that has a different meaning in terms of web development, but if you can be inspired by everything that's around you and want to be a developer and want to do engineering, then you know, this is great. When I was at school, I did not know that engineering was an option. I didn't even know what it was. And the more people that can be talking about it and things like this, then you know, it's an amazing career to be a developer or an engineer or be in related items.
Totally cool. Totally cool. Is there anything that anyone would like to share with us that we perhaps didn't answer, or is there any topic that you would like to see in future related to this so we can open it more and dig in? I mean, we've lost a number of crowd, right? Because we are 1 hour late, okay, to close this meeting. But it seems that, I mean, I think we covered a lot. I think first of all, we need to say thank you to our guests and to guest speakers and to my guests and your friends and people from the WordPress community. Thank you very much for joining. If you see that something, Abha will share with you a number of things. If you see that something is worth exploring and something that you might know that you'd like to share with us, please do so. Just come ahead and let's work on this. Otherwise, other than that, I would just like to ask both of our speakers just to wrap up and tell us perhaps something as a conclusion before we all leave and before we meet next time. Next time we're going to be talking about Divi. So Divi is how to build websites with Divi. Divi is very popular among developers and designers, and then let's see how actually that works. So Abha, you have first the floor. Thank you.
Just I hope it's been useful. The survey questions in the second half of that we've had today. We've got some bigger questions related to that about tech that I'll work with Maya about putting out, and it'll be great to see. Someone's been messaging me to say that can I do a pitch for the contributing to WordPress? And have you ever known me not do a pitch for that? That if there's an opportunity that you can learn something in WordPress, please join the teams, and be patient too, because sometimes learning is about observing and learning, and rather than just saying, hey, I need someone to help me right now. And you can learn so much just by going to support forums, and you can expand your digital skills amazingly. Follow the core release, big plug. We release 5.5 tomorrow. I'm getting killed on the other things because I'm supposed to be doing stuff for that, and I'm here with you all instead, which is lovely. But a lot of work has gone into that. But people who've been involved with that weren't necessarily experienced developers 2 years ago or even a year ago. So be inspired and come and learn about all these things, because by learning it can be fun. It can be exciting. It can give you satisfaction. It can be also an escape from the pandemic and all that negative things that happen in our lives. And, as Nestor said, come and learn how to build things. And at the very least, go and play with Lego, because, what else do you need to build? And I have a Lego mug on my office fireplace, which has lots of Yoast characters on too. But it's also there to remind me that there are solutions that I haven't built yet, and to keep thinking tomorrow will come, and that's a new excitement to build something else, to learn something else, and to share with you all something wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, Nestor.
Your
we
mic
don't
is
hear
on.
you. No, I think the battery is gone. I think you spent the battery.
Can you put it in the chat maybe if your battery's gone? What you were going to say? And then I can read it out for you, pretend to be you.
Okay, it's a security breach of this meeting, okay? But we have a security analyst. Maybe he can do something. Please don't.
There you are. He's oh yeah, that's very true. There is. It's fantastic. There's a Lego called Mindstorm, and you can build and apply AI and ML, and it is so much fun.
You're joking. Is it good?
Oh, it is so much fun, honestly. And I was terrified of WPCLI in terms of doing anything publicly with that until I met Alan. And now, because he's explained things in terms of Lego to me for WPCLI, I love it. I can't wait to do more of it. But yeah, no, it's really cool. Mesto, that was brilliant addition.
I'm gonna order it tonight. Finish. If that is that good, I wanna try it.
No, it is good. It is good. But there's been loads and loads of stuff in the chat that we can, hopefully, if we can export it, I can pull stuff out that we can use and we can send out to people afterwards. Just some reading material. That'd be really good.
Sure.
And I put in the link. I think it's lost somewhere. There's a survey on We and AI, and that can help you just understand how AI is being used. And if you want to get started contributing, I'm reading this now from the chat. If you want to start contributing, come and join the marketing team, training team, core, anything, and just get involved. And 5.5 tomorrow.
Yay! Hey, this time next year, we're all going to be AI engineers, okay? Minimum. Minimum. Guys, it was really great to have you. I really love you, and I see you next Monday if you have time for the DD session. See ya.
Thank you to all, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.